lost on us. So we continue to work in that direction. But the common thing that you'll hear from all of us tonight that you've been hearing is that what we're experiencing, not only in Topanga Division, but in the whole San Fernando Valley, really what the biggest crime problems we have are surrounding the property crime. And that's really something that, that involves all of you. And the fact that the numbers in the valley have been reduced, it's a tribute to the work that we're doing, but it's a tribute to the partnership because you all have helped us with that. But having said that, and having had Joel's job very recently, and coming from a division that again was challenged with the same kind of issues as it goes to property crimes, I can tell you day in and day out, when we look at the residential burglaries and we look at the car burglaries that are occurring, over and over, people aren't doing so simple things like locking their car doors. And if you think I'm kidding, I'm happy to show that to you sometimes. And there's also videotapes that I could show you of people riding their bikes down a street or walking down a street and literally trying every doorknob or door handle of a vehicle that's parked to see which one opens up. So that's something that we can all do to at least harden that target, if you will, to help ourselves. The other thing about it, we do these crazy things like leaving stuff in plain sight in our vehicles, and maybe we should go outside in the parking lot and see and take a little tour and look at some of the cars and see who's left their iPad on their front seat or their cell phone. We just can't do that anymore, folks. I wish we lived in a world where we could, but we don't. And so in terms of working together, and if nothing else, spreading that message and getting people to help us, to help them in that regard, and it gives us the ability to focus on the more serious violent crime things that we really want to delve into. But that partnership is something that we're stressing. You continually hear us talk about, but also when we're talking about crime reductions, we couldn't have done it this far without your help, so you should give yourselves a big round of applause in terms of that. Please. So again, as Joel said, I'm new here to the Valley. Although I've worked here, I was here as a lieutenant for a short while in Devonshire Division. I was a sergeant in Van Nuys Division. I was a detective in West Valley Division before the new station was built. And when I was at Van Nuys, it was before we even had Mission Station built. So I have spent some time here in the Valley. I know enough to be dangerous, but my role here now is to really help Deputy Chief George Villegas, who is the chief for the San Fernando Valley, to help him to oversee and lead the West Side communities and help all of you to ensure the safe neighborhood. So if I can be of any help to any of you, please. My information is pretty readily available on our websites and whatnot, but I'll be around afterwards and happy to provide you with that information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commander. Now is our question and answer period. I have some cards here, so if you have some questions, please get those to the officers walking around. The first question is Topanga going to be equipped with cameras mounted to police cars and also to the officers? Yeah, we, in our new cars that are being deployed, they all have in-car video, which means that they're recording everything that the officer does. The cameras fixed to the officers' bodies is a pilot program that the commissioner has raised money for, Commissioner Soberoff, and it will be a pilot. Do you know how many he's going to do originally? It will be, my understanding is it'll be piloted in South Bureau, where some officers in South Bureau will be given body cameras. I would suspect with the way technology is and as funds become available that, yeah, you'll see most of your police officers, if not all of them, eventually having cameras on them, because what we do brings a lot of liability. Policing has a lot of liability in it. And one of the ways we can help our liability is to have these cameras. So I would be willing to bet, and this is Joel Justice's opinion, that eventually they're all going to have cameras on them. What are you planning to do about the overgrowth of new apartments? I've put a stop to that. The overgrowth of apartments, that's really a tough one. That you as a community would have much more effect on than me as a representative of law enforcement. And that's truly why we build these relationships, so that hopefully, you know, you guys can all get together and go to the Department of Zoning and stop some of these permits. And because, yeah, with big apartment buildings sometimes brings crime. Not always, but a lot of times it does. And can we get a cap on building of new apartments? That's the same question. New homes, not a bedroom and community. I would agree. I'd rather see homes than apartments. But again, that would have to go through the city. That's a little above my head. And thank you. The leaf blower law. I have not blown any leaves since I've been here at Topanga. The leaf blower law, I've been told by Officer Rye, thank you, Brent, that I have to work with my councilman. Yes, that would be the best way to change laws. The best way to go is with your political leaders, your state leaders, your city leaders, to change those kind of laws. That's the best way to have those laws effective. How do we get a better response time? When we call to report strange people knocking on doors and looking over fences, the police do not come. I can tell you that I used to work communications. That's where I came from. And I know the person that replaced me there when I came over to Topanga. So we've been working with communications when you guys call us to report suspicious people. Generally, that's a low priority call. They're just piling on. Generally, that's a low priority call. And we have actually worked with communications to get that dispatched at a high priority because of our burglaries and things that we're having in our neighborhood. So you should see the police a lot more faster because of that. So hopefully the response time will help with that new rule in effect. Could Nixle updates be posted any quicker? Like when helicopters are hovering overhead? Nixle Blast is something new. It's new to us. And my understanding is our big boss, the assistant chief and director of Office of Operations, is planning on putting a couple of authorities, correct, in each division to help with the social media, because he sees the value in the communication and the open lines of communication with you all. And so hopefully, right now, I mean, resources are limited, and I've got everybody out in the street trying to prevent that crime rather than communicate about it. So hopefully in the near future we'll have those. Do you know when those are coming, Commander? Right around the first of the year, Commander Peters says. So hopefully very soon we'll have those new authorities. That what that means is it's a couple extra bodies to each division that will do nothing but social media, so that we can communicate better with you. My immediate neighborhood has been hit hard by burglaries, including my home in 2009. But I never see any patrol cars in our area. When my neighbors and I have called for help, the officers have arrived 3 to 4 hours later. What can be done about this? I feel no support or protection. I can tell you that if you call because your house is being broken into, there's two types of calls. If somebody's broken into your home and is left, it for us is not a priority call. There's things that are more important for us to get to. Doesn't mean that your home being broken into isn't important to us. But a crime in progress where the suspect's there, that is more of a priority for us. So if you call because your home is being broken into and the suspect's there and you don't get a quick response, I want you to call me. I will figure out why that happened, what the glitch was, because that is a priority for us. To keep you safe, keeping people safe is our main priority. Property crimes, while they're not as high a priority as your violent crimes, they are important to us. So, like I said, if they've broken into your home and have left and nobody sees them in the neighborhood, that's not a high priority for us, unfortunately.